Welcome back to Appreciate Taste. This week, as promised, I'm going to show you how to take that pie crust recipe that we made in our last video and turn it into a savory chicken pot pie. We're going to start out with some chicken. I've just got some chicken breasts laid out here in a pan. I've put them on parchment paper so that way it won't mess up our pan too much. Parchment paper really works well in the oven. You won't have to worry it ain't going to set on fire or anything like that. So, but it's really handy to use. Now what we want to do is we want to take a little bit of olive oil and we want to coat both sides of our chicken with olive oil. I've got a couple of tablespoons here and I'm just going to drizzle it on the top just a little bit of each of these. And I'm going to rub that olive oil in. Putting olive oil on our meat serves a twofold purpose. First off, it helps our seasoning to stick on the meat. We're going to use some salt and some pepper here in just a few moments. The second thing it does, it keeps our meat moist. And we want that. We're going to be baking it in the oven. And we want to make sure that it is moist and tender so that when we get ready to put it into our pot pie, it's going to be terrific. Take a little bit of pepper. And I'm going to put some along with some salt. That looks great. I'm going to take our chicken, I'm going to place it in our 350 degree oven, and then we're going to start on making a roux for our chicken pot pie. Okay, I've got our chicken out of the oven. I've cut it up and I'm letting it cool down while we make our roux. I'm adding in a 1/3 cup of salted butter. I'm going to let this butter melt in the pan. And then what I want to do is add about 2/3 cup of flour to this mixture. This is going to make the base of our roux. I want to stir it in here until it gets to the consistency of peanut butter. The flour is soaking up all of that butter. We've got it to that consistency that we need. So what I want to do is add in our milk. I'm using 2 cups of milk for the base, and we just want to stir it in a little at a time. We don't want it to be clumpy, so we want to take all the clumps out. The reason I want to get all the clumps out is because we don't want a clumpy pie. On the other hand, we needed this roux to help us thicken up our sauce for that chicken pot pie. While I'm doing this, I want to mention, I'm not a professional cook. I just enjoy cooking. And I want to ease your mind, if you're not a professional cook, that you can do this as well. It's not hard to do. Sometimes it takes a little extra time, but the results are just worth every minute that you spend at the stove. Okay, we've got the roux nice and thick. The clumps have come out of it really good. I'm going to take my chicken stock. I'm going to take 2 cups of chicken stock and I'm going to pour it into this mixture. And that's going to thin it out quite a bit. I'm just going to stir that in. We don't want to stir it too quick. We'll spill it out the sides. And while I've got this stirring, I'm going to put in about 1/2 of a small white onion, chopped up really nice and fine. And then I'm going to put in a tablespoon of garlic. Now, what I want to do is I want to bring this to a boil. So I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. Okay, our roux is coming to a nice boil now. I'm going to go ahead and turn down the heat because we don't want to scorch it. I've turned the heat down to medium. We wanted to bring it to a boil because that's what's going to thicken it back up. After we added that chicken stock and after we added all the other ingredients, it got a little thin. We brought it back to a boil. That has allowed that flour and butter mixture, that roux, to work. What we want to do now is I'm going to add some frozen peas and carrots. I use frozen peas and carrots. They work out really nice. They have a good texture. Just going to add those in. There we go. Going to mix those in real good. And now I want to get our chicken. I've got our chicken here. It's cooled. It's been chopped. Look at that. It's really coming together nice. It's nice and thick and rich, and it looks great. I'm going to turn our stove off and move our filling. Don't want it to overheat. We're done cooking it. I'm going to get our pie crust dough out. We're going to roll it out, put it in our ramekins, and fill them with our mixture. Okay, I've got our dough out of the refrigerator, and I've got our disc kind of flattened out here between two sheets of plastic wrap. And I'm just going to roll our dough out until it makes a nice disc. The reason that I'm putting it between the plastic wrap is because that's going to make our dough easier to put in our ramekin. We don't want to over-roll our dough. And that looks like it's about right. Look how easy that top layer is to remove. I'm going to place my ramekin upside down, and then there you have it. Just going to lay it right over top. Allow that dough to go right in to our ramekins. Don't worry if it tears just a little bit. You can fix that after you get it into the ramekin. Now I'm going to fill this with our mixture. Just got a little ladle here. Going to ladle that in. I've already rolled our top crust, and once I fill this up, we're going to put our top crust on. Look at that, that looks great. Now a few moments ago I told you what we were going to do with that excess crust. Just going to roll it out here just a little bit. Nice and thin. Table. And I caught a couple of stamps here. You may or may not have these at home. If you don't have them, you can purchase them at Amazon.com. On my website we have some links to some cookware and everything, and we have some links to these as well. But if you don't have these, you can make something of your own. Anything that you can use to press into the dough to make a design will work just fine. What we want to do, I'm going to take this nice flour, it's springtime here, press that in. Look at that beautiful flour. We can put that right on our pot pie just to decorate it up a little bit. If you're like me, I like the crust. I think it tastes great. I've got a leaf. We've had so much snow here this winter. I'm looking forward to the leaves. There we go. This one's kind of stayed in there. That's why we have that little press. That's good. Nice leaf. And there you have it. Just kind of a little cutesy thing that I wanted to do here for my pot pie. We're going to put these in the oven. And when they come out, I'll show you what they look like. We've got our chicken pot pies out of the oven, and they look and smell fantastic. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and hope that you'll come back and watch more of our videos. For Appreciate Taste, I'm Jay Pruitt, and I'm asking you, if you would, visit us at www.appreciatetaste.com. Like us on Facebook, and remember, until the next time we make another video and come together again,